Page 6 in the book. Refuge. To the Buddha, Dharma, and Arya Sangha, I go for refuge until I'm enlightened. To the Buddha, Dharma, and Arya Sangha, I go for refuge until I'm enlightened. To the Buddha, Dharma, and Arya Sangha, I go for refuge until I'm enlightened. By the merit from listening to the Dharma, may I attain Buddhahood for the sake of benefiting all mother sentient beings. By the merit from listening to the Dharma, may I attain Buddhahood for the sake of benefiting all mother sentient beings. By the merit from listening to the Dharma, may I attain Buddhahood for the sake of benefiting all mother sentient beings. Page 11. May all sentient beings achieve extraordinary superior happiness. May all sentient beings be free from the unbearable sea of suffering. May all sentient beings never be parted from the bliss of supreme liberation. May all sentient beings be free of all bias, attachment, and anger to near ones, and aversion to others. Page 12. Reverently, I prostrate with my body, speech, and mind, and present clouds of every type of offering, actually offered and mentally transformed. I confess all my negative actions accumulated since beginningless time, and rejoice in the virtues of all holy and ordinary beings. Please remain until samsara ends and turn the wheel of Dharma for sentient beings. I dedicate all the virtues of others and myself to the great enlightenment. Page 15, Heart Sutra Mantra. Tayata Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasamgate Bodhi Soha. Tayata Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasamgate Bodhi Soha. Tayata Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasamgate Bodhi Soha. Page 26, Short Mandala. Om Ahum, Om Ahum, Om Ahum. This ground, anointed with perfume, strewn with flowers, adorned with Mount Meru, 4 continents, sun and moon, I offer in visualization as field of Buddhas. May all sentient beings thus enjoy this pure land. Idam Guru Ratna Mandala Kam Nayata Yami.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. Can you remember Lama Tsongkhapa taught, whatever degeneration there are in the world, the root of all these is ignorance. Yeah. Jide goba chinye ba the zawa mare des. By seeing dependent origination, we can remove all of these problems. Yeah, he said. How do you get imagination? This point. Do you get some point from this? Yeah. If we can see the meaning of dependent origination, then we can solve the old problem in the world. He said, it's really we have to reflect, more, to understand, the meaning of the dependent origination, Yeah, if we reflect properly, in detail, in our life, when something good happen or something bad happen, it comes from cause and conditions, This is talking, not only single cause and condition, it's depend on multi-cause and conditions, If you successfully, in your life, something successful, yeah, something some people feel, I alone, did, these things, Actually, it's successful, it's depend multi-cause and condition, Many people contribute, yeah. Therefore, this is very important to understand this meaning, There are three levels of these dependent originations to understand, the three levels, First level of this dependent origination of cause and condition, cause and effect. This for us very important. This is the first level, Dependent origination of cause and effect. By belief, trust, understanding these, we can prevent many evil conduct, Yeah. Every effect follow to the cause, Without cause, there's no effect, Yeah. By understanding these, practicing these, we can achieve this life successful. Also, we can achieve next human or God realm. Okay? Understand? Dependent origination of cause and effect. Yeah. If we have somebody says, I have money, I have everything. If you have money, if you don't have the seller, no money, no use money. Yeah. yeah. Therefore, food, house, clothing, this is comes from others, Yeah. It's everything in our life dependent on others, cause and conditions. Also, this is very important, to promote this notion, dependent origination is very important for promote love and compassion, universal love and compassion. Actually, we have compassion, we have love, but this is very limited, We cannot share, our love and our compassion in universal, just family or friends, yeah. This is the, by something, a relation or biological factor, biologically related to somebody, we can naturally come compassion, love, Sometimes relation, because of the relation, we love and compassion, But somebody is not related or biological factor, it's very difficult, for us to develop compassion, love for those, are not related, to us, or biologically or relation, yeah. Therefore, by using the concept of dependent origination, then we can share our love and compassion in the universe, in everyone, we should think, my happiness or my successful or my happiness depend on other, My suffering also, as well, my suffering also depend on others, As I want happiness, others want happiness, as I don't want suffering, others don't want suffering, Therefore, I make some, something good, or something happiness, I contribute happiness for others, this is using this notion of the dependent origination, you know. Then also it using this, you know, we can reduce, you know, strong sense of I, you know. Many problem comes with strong sense of I mind, you know. When we have strong sense of I and mind, then we have silly ego, you know. Yeah, this is a main problem, you know, silly ego and invasion, you know. Yeah, understanding this, you know, if we can promote love and compassion, then it helps to reduce, you know, the silly ego, strong sense of I and mine, you know. In reality, in fact, there is no strong sense of I, okay? In reality, you know, as we feel, you know. Nothing independent, everything is dependent, you know. Yeah, this is, you know, sometimes, you know, you understand it well, the meaning of the dependent origination. Then Lama Tsongkhapa says sometimes to his continuum, the faith, the devotion to the Buddha, compassion towards to the sentient beings, you know, respect to the Dharma, you know. He says these three, you know, these kind of these good qualities, competition to his mental continuum, you know, each other increasing, you know, by the competition, you know, his mind. Then sometimes says when he lives alone, himself, you know, spontaneously joyful talk, you know, say like that, you know. Yeah, very. This is a very, you know, we are not enough. We are not enough to meditate on the meaning of this, you know. Therefore, not much make difference us, you know. Yeah, this is it. In order to, for the liberation from samsara, this is very important, you know, to understand emptiness, you know. In order to, you know, to understand emptiness, the dependent origination is the best way, best approach, you know, best, you know, to get the meaning of emptiness, you know. Yeah. Also, yeah, as I mentioned, you know, in successful life in this, you know, also understand that this improve the relation, social harmony, solidarity, you know, songs of many good qualities improve, you know, by understanding the notion of dependent origination, you know. We can promote, you know, many good qualities of mind, you know. Yeah, then how, you know, Lama Tsongkhapa prays, you know, to the notion of dependent origination, you know, we can read, you know, here. Okay, we read one more. Yeah, can you see here? Yeah, this very good translation, the best translation. Then His Holiness Interpreter, you know, Geshe Thinley Namgyal translation. Yeah, we finished only 2 stanzas. Yeah, last, you know, today from stanza 3rd. I look in Tibetan. This very good. Here in 3rd. So, yeah, how can an intelligent person not comprehend that this part of dependent origination is the essence bond of your teaching? You know, if something intelligent person, then understand, that dependent origination is the essence bond of Buddha's teaching, Everything, this is the foundation, the foundation, then build everything on this, okay? If things are dependent, we have opportunity to develop path, to promote compassion, love, also intention, wisdom, There are things independent, we have no opportunity, Then no opportunity to promote good quality of mind, Like solid, Things dependent, everything possible, changing, Can possible, to promote, some, things dependent, Yeah. Therefore, someone who is intelligent person can understand. Dependent origination is, this notion is the essence of the Buddha's teaching, The main point of Buddha's teaching, Therefore, Lama Tsongkhapa says we have to understand that dependent origination is the essence of Buddha's teaching, The main point of Buddha's teaching, Therefore, we have to pray to Buddha. We have to pray to Lama Tsongkhapa to get the real meaning of this, to realize the meaning of the dependent origination, Then, I think also, this is the best medicine, medication, to heal, many mental problems, So today's, today, in this 21st century, we have many mental problems, Depression, stress, anxiety, loneliness, there are many things, If we can understand the well of this meaning, of the dependent origination, we can solve many problems in our life, It brings the good relationship, social harmony, the understanding of this meaning of the, essence of, meaning of the dependent origination, This is very, very important, We don't care, we should follow, as we feel, we feel things independent, including ourselves, Then we don't care any other, If we can understand that everything dependent according to myself and all my goodness, then we naturally we have to care, for others, others' interest, Yeah. Means the intelligent person understand that dependent origination is the essence of the Buddha's teaching. Here say, essence, essential bond, essential bond of Buddha's teaching, Okay. Then number 4. Tadalana Kunjalas, say in the number 4, whatsoever depend, sorry, I did mistake. No, number 4. Oh, this being so, okay, sorry. This being so, who will find or savor, savor, yeah, a more wonderful way to praise you than for having taught this origination through dependence, say here. Tadalana Gunjula, Tobagun, Sushi, Dena Jumasubala, Motracho Chishin, Salama Tongava says, we usually, when people are writing, something, the soul, all Buddhist master writer, when they are writing, the beginning salutation, the homage to Buddha, or talk something of Buddha's good quality, Some mostly says you are you are compassionated, you have omniscient, you actually omniscience mind, so on and so forth, talking these kind of qualities, Lama Tsongkhapa says this is not the best praise to Buddha. If you praise to Buddha, you taught the dependent origination. By the way, you praise to Buddha, this is the best praise to Buddha. It gives the value, to the teaching of the dependent origination, Yeah, understand of this meaning, really we can transform ourselves, something, transform, real transform, understand the meaning of dependent origination, He realized it, When we heard the concept of dependent origination doesn't make change to our mind, not much feeling, just same, yeah. Yeah. So, who will find or savor, a more wonderful way to praise, you, then, to praise you, for having taught this origination through dependence. There are two syllables, origination and dependence, Mean origination like effect, Effect comes depending on cause, Happiness comes depending on virtues, some the goodness, Sufferings, comes, depending on some the unwholesomeness, Evil conduct, Noble conduct comes, from noble conduct comes from the happiness, The suffering comes from evil conduct, Physically, mentally, verbally, yeah. Then next 60, 60, we go to the 60. 6. 5, okay, sorry. Whatever that here say, whatsoever depends on condition that is devoid of intrinsic existence, What excellent instruction can there be more amazing than this proclamation? Independence say, Kanganjin la relava tederanshi chidi sungbadeli lengdom suni chishiyus. Buddha taught anything, the things which depend on cause and condition, it lack of inherent nature. Okay? This is Lama Tsongkhapa's this amazing teaching, But this is very problem to understand, big problem. Not to get something experience, Not easy to understand this meaning. Sometimes say, somebody says, Buddha taught, whatsoever depends cause on on condition, that is the word or lack of inherent nature, Buddha taught, Yeah, many the not enough the marriage, not meritorious person, the mind is not refined to understand emptiness, also strong self-grasping, these kind of people, some whatever depend on condition, it should be absolute or opposite, yeah, this problem. Whatsoever depends on conditions or cause. Yeah. Also we can add here, cause, cause and condition, yeah. This is talking, the meaning of emptiness, dependent origination, the meaning of origination, inherent, lack of inherent nature, emptiness, Understand? This coexist, essential identification, Here says the next, the sixth, number 6 stanza. By grasping at it, the childish, here he mentioned here, strengthen bondage to extreme views. For the wise, this very fact is the doorway to cut free from the net of illustrations. That here says, the strong self-grasping person or people not enough meritorious to understanding the meaning of dependent origination, or some people, problem, by the wrong direction, instruction, people, we say like that, or somebody start the other, studied, or practice other teachings, explained something absolute, independent things, these people's very difficult, by grasping it, this childish, childish means this kind of people, yeah, childish is referred, to this kind of people, these people very difficult to understand the meaning of the dependent origination. Instead, it's promote their grasping, understand? Yeah. Therefore, some teacher, in the world, in the universe, some teacher teach, oh, this is absolute because it's depend on cause and condition. Say like that, To follow this kind of teacher, the students very problem, childish, by grasping at it, childish, this kind of people, okay? Yeah. Here says, here says, for the wise, this very fact is the doorway to God, the wise, Here wise means, the meaning of dependent origination understand the meaning of the origination as, inherent, lack of inherent nature, as Buddha taught, whatsoever depend on cause and condition, it is the, lack of inherent nature, If we grasping something independent, absolute, then we have no opportunity to remove the self-grasping. If we cannot remove self-grasping, then always problem there. Then always the problem. Then, something is absolute, then no opportunity to change, to promote, to promote path, compassion, love, no compassion, impossible, something is absolute, Actually, the notion of the origination is the doorway, intense, to cut all the net of elaboration. Elaboration means elaboration of the self-grasping, elaboration of the all negative afflictive emotions, all all afflictive emotions, the build up on the, self-grasping, self-grasping is the, the valid things, valid thing, then we cannot do anything, we cannot remedy, we cannot remedy, we cannot antidote, we cannot cut the root of the afflictive emotion. We have no opportunity to, eliminate the greedy, jealousy, anger, so on and so forth. There are many types of negative emotion, all of these build up, on the self-grasping. Self-grasping means the root of all afflictive emotion, This is, apprehending the things independently, intrinsically, self-grasping. Self-grasping apprehend, including our own self, our own I, our own body, then all the things what we are using, apprehending as, intrinsically, existence, Yes, is this talking, Come.
Okay, so with the realization of the emptiness, you would realize the self does not exist in and of itself. So you would realize we're sort of suspended in this whole net, but there'd be no elaboration, so we would have no identifications or reactions. We would experience size and shape and feeling. Well, I don't know if there would be feeling, but there would be we would have no identification, no.
Identification is there. Identification, we can identify. But not, we understand of these, then just mind project, the mind project, but from things itself does not exist, Therefore, conventionally we have identification, we have relationship, we have goodness, we have bad, everything conventionally, At the point of absolute, then nothing exists.
So, how does the realization of emptiness free us from all suffering? Because we no longer identify, or we no longer emotionally have reaction.
Emotion reaction also there.
experience that, then we don't suffer because we're like not there anymore.
Yeah, we're there.
No, we are
Yeah,
there.
conventionally.
Conventionally,
Yeah. Conventionally, we have Buddha, we have standing, we have suffering, we have happiness. Conventionally, at the point of absolute, we don't have Buddha, we don't have suffering, we don't have happiness. Yeah. This we have to distinct. That this is it's very difficult to image to your perception right now. We can, by the way, follow to the logical reasoning. Logical reasoning, you can establish it, these things. You make sure, to the logical reasoning approve, mind. Perception right now quite difficult because we are strongly habituated to the things absolutely, since beginning last time we are good friend to the ignorance, best friend of ignorance, we are associated more and more with the ignorance, contact more and more, now we are new friend, the notion of emptiness, very new friend, this therefore is quite difficult to make good friend, to make contact, this problem to the perception. But logically we have more improvement, to the empty side, the lack of inherent, side, Yeah.
What cuts the ignorance is when we actually perceive it.
Yeah. When we realize, when we actually realize emptiness, But Also, no need to wait to realize emptiness directly. But since now intellectual level you start about this notion, it help a lot you in your daily life. You can remove many problems. Many conceptual, many net of elaboration of self-grasping. Many misperception. Many misperception, misperception or something mistaken mind. We can remove a lot of these things, by intellectual level understanding,
We have is a person who knows what they really stand for. We value that in this country as strong, or having clear, exactly what that's our politics today is like that. If you absolutely know who you are, what you're going, you're considered strong. If you have doubts, if you allow for change, you're considered weak. It's the craziest thing, right? And that's right now in our society we're having a hard time with that. We value those that really know what they want, and not anyone who's willing to say, make it this way, make it that way. I don't know how as a society we can once again value people that are not always exactly what they need, who are willing to listen. It's so hard. It's frustrating. I'm sorry, very frustrating.
It's okay. This is the problem to not understanding this meaning of, Yeah. If understanding this, every successful is interconnected to each other, If missing one connection, problem,
And how the Dalai Lama, it was quite a long time ago, but he first heard of low self-esteem, and he was talking with a bunch of Westerners, and they said, yeah, they have low self-esteem, and Dalai Lama said, what is that? And the Westerner explained, it's an individual sense of I'm not good enough. And Dalai Lama, you went to all the Westerners, do you have that? And they said, yeah. Do you have that? Yeah. Do you have that? Yeah. And he said, in his reality, in reality, everything is so all interconnected that there isn't the emphasis on an individual. But how in the Western world, we have such an emphasis on the individual that up comes no self-esteem or high self-esteem. But with the realization of all the interconnected,
Yeah, and release from the work boundaries problem. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. This is, this is why, Buddha taught this as the essential boundary, Why? Yeah, this is, Yeah, if, this notion of the different origination is very helpful, for the student study the environmental, environmental knowledge, or political field, also business field, it's very useful, today in this modern time, this time of this notion of dependent origination, Yeah, you have, for businessmen, you have successful business, depend to others, You alone cannot do, how much you have power, anything, If you can make, very good things, you should have customer, to buy, If you have money, you should have somebody to make the thing, Yeah. Also environmental, Also relationship, These notions very, very useful, yeah, very, very, effective, yeah. Very, very essential point. Independent?
it's dependent on all.
Yeah,
the
sure.
And then you don't want to cling to these other things.
Yeah.
Right? You have to.
Yeah. It's okay now, right? But beginner level is, killing is okay, no problem, huh? Yeah. It's very difficult to remove, It's okay, First understand, depend, this is important, That then later inside, inside level, higher, then understand, the defect of the clinging, Finally, I have to leave these, things, You understand? The beginner level attachment sometimes help us, like different from anger, Anger always, bad, Anger, hatred, always bad, But attachment sometimes for ordinary people it help us, Yeah, sometimes, Also somebody practice to the attach to Buddha, Then then listen Buddha's advice, Yeah, this sometimes help, But finally have to remove the attach to Buddha, When yeah. Like that. Oh yeah. Then next, read. This is, this not many these stanzas, this text is very, very good, to read, Then we can more understanding, We read more, we read next 7, Since this teaching is not sin, elsewhere you alone are the teacher, like calling for a fox for a titika. It would be a word of flattery, 7, number 7. Then the Shindu Maton Vesa Tombashija Chinidi, Wajilani Singish Mudijala Champions. Here says, since this teaching is not sin, elsewhere means something other culture, like the Sangha, there are many different non-Buddhist, philosophical schools, many, Yeah, he says their teacher didn't taught, their master didn't taught, didn't teach, they're not taught, or they didn't teach you these kind of things, teaching, He says, you are only teacher, you are alone teacher. Tempa Shije King this, He says, you are only the teacher. Lama Tsongkhapa, Jetsongkhapa to praise to him, Buddha, Other teachers, like here, Tempa Shije, Wajil and Singishins, Wajil, what means fox, yeah? Other teachers, sometimes we give the name of lion to the fox, like that, It's actually not lion, yeah? Just give the name of lion to the fox, like that. Actually not real teacher, but we are giving the name of the teacher to others teacher, he said like that, And he's something special to develop devotion to Buddha Shakyamuni, by this teaching, he's very encouraged, incredibly, developed, some inner faith or devotion to the Buddha, by this teaching, I think he released all boundaries, problems, by this understanding this teaching, Yeah. Then here say, Ed, wanderer's teacher, wanderer's refuge, wanderer's speaker, wanderer's server. I pay homage to that teacher who taught well dependent origination. Again, says, Emo tembo, emo chap, emo macho, emo gun. Dinjin devo, losu be temba tel tacha says, you are the best teacher, yeah, like that, Emo macho, Emo tembo means in Tibetan means teacher. To show the guidance, the right guidance, Emo chap means you are real refuge, If we surrender to you, then it would be inevitable, Inevitable, yeah? You can say, yeah? Macho means wanderer speaker, Buddha is a wanderer speaker because you speak about dependent origination. He said like that, Therefore, you are the best speaker because you spoken about dependent origination. Nobody didn't teach, spoke, about this, he said, here. You are best saver, wanderers, Therefore, I homage to you, he said, Yeah. Then we go to next 9. Sure. Gon means, Seva means protect you. Yeah, protect you. If you surrender him, he protect you. Yeah. Yeah, protector, like. Yeah. I don't know. In Tibetan term we say gon, gon means if you surrender him, he protect you. yeah, protector, yeah, like protector, yeah. Yeah, then next, yeah, to help heal stand beings or benefactor, you have taught the peerless reason to ascertain, yeah, emptiness, the heart of the teaching, yeah. And here I read in Tibetan once. Till Tibetan 9, yeah, Penze Chujin Doala, Membele du Gazeva. Dembening Butongba Nis, Niebe Junzen Dame Bas. Yeah, all Buddha taught, the many teachings, many, we usually say 84,000, yeah, 84,000, yeah, 84,000 teachings, all of these, for benefiting to sentient beings, to heal them from the suffering, yeah, many teachings, the essence of emptiness, all of these teachings is essence of all kind of these teachings is emptiness, in order to emptiness, this is the dependent origination is the best way, to understand emptiness, he say here, this stanza number 9, Kyuji Pinse Kyujin Doala, Membele du Gazeva, Dembe Nimbo Tongbani, Niebe Junzen Dame Bas. Then number 10. This way of dependent origination, these who perceive it as contradictory or as unestablished, how can they comprehend your system? Penze Chujindwa, member letter, get a Penze Chindwala, member Penze Chujindwala, member Timbang Nebajuns and Dame Bas, danger to what you choose. The problem, somebody that is talking, actually, this reasoning say like that, the logical reasoning, the structure like that, something, some we say, for example, like this, this table, this table is, we say, this table is lack of inherent nature because it is dependent origination. Okay, this is the logical structure, Then some non-Buddhist problem. This table that doesn't assert this table is dependent origination. They say this table is independent, therefore cannot establish it, the dependent origination. Okay, as proof, something is inherent, Some Buddhist, the lower school, or says, yeah, the table is dependent origination. Yes, it is, but it is inherent nature. There are two types of the students, two types of people, These are the problem, Those students, person have problem to understand the best reason to establish emptiness, to use this used for establishing emptiness. Okay, this is the meaning. Okay, this stanza. Yeah. Doctor, very nice. Yeah, we are in monastery, academic, studying there, a lot debating, in this. Yeah, a lot debating. Yeah. Then we move next. They understand, yeah, this you understand, yeah? That's the number 10. The 11, yeah? 11 for you, when one sees emptiness in terms of the meaning of dependent origination, then being devoid of intrinsic existence and possessing valid functions do not contact. Okay, very nice here. 11, 11 here says kyun namshik tongpa ni tenjong tongdu toana rangshikin na tongpa tan chaje thaba mingations. Very beautiful. We should understand this, okay? Yeah. For you, kyun namshik tongpa ni so tenjong tongdu toana so for you, when one sees emptiness in terms of the meaning of the dependent origination, you actually, emptiness and the dependent origination help to each other. Very harmony, the meaning of emptiness, you understand. The emptiness, you understand emptiness as the meaning of dependent origination. You understand dependent origination as the meaning of emptiness. They are very, to harmony, to help to each other, Yeah, that like the, like same chord, front and the back, Then no problem to establish, emptiness, Then this, if you can understand this, then you don't have any problem, with the lack of inherent nature, established functions, cause, effect, good, bad. You can, everything come into being at the point of the lack of inherent nature. Okay? Everything possible then. This is not easy. Accumulate marriage, more start, more meditation, okay? Yeah. Even though, even though anything does not exist at the point of the inherent nature, but conventionally come into being. Everything come into beings, being. Yeah. He said, Buddha himself, you realized, that then you don't have problems. Lama Tsongpa said, I don't have problem, But some lower Buddhist school student or the non-Buddhist school student have problem this. Okay? Okay, yeah. Okay, I read one, then we finish, Only 3 minutes, 11 finished, 12, 12. Whereas when one sees the opposite, since there can be no function in emptiness, not emptiness in what has functions, one falls into a deadful abyss, Abyss? Abyss. You maintain, what is it? No. 12, Till a double tone, Donna Charmer, suddenly young and the is. Till a double tone, Nasa. Donna Chawami Runshi. Chadanzella Tomebe, young and this is the problem that some non-Buddhist or the lower, that's the problem of the lower circle of Buddhist, this problem. Till and double means here, understand. Dog means opposite, Buddha see, the meaning of emptiness. The Buddha see the emptiness, meaning of dependent, Buddha see dependent, meaning of dependent as the emptiness, very, harmony, if you see opposite, the meaning of dependent, absolute. Say this is opposite, Then, at the point of emptiness level, you cannot establish anything. Nothing come into being. Understand? Yeah, this. Okay. Here, stop here, 12. The next, I read, we read from 13, next. Oh, there are many, many things to know for you also. The following stanzas, Yeah. Dedication.
Dedication of merits. Due to this merit, may I soon attain the enlightened state of Guru Buddha, that I may be able to liberate all sentient beings from their sufferings. May the precious body mind not yet born arise and grow. May that born have no decline, but increase forevermore. Page 55. Om Swasti. Like the countless light rays that radiate from the ruby mountain, exquisite Amitayus, Lord of everlasting life, who captivates and one does not tire of seeing, whose essence is of infinite life, the nectar of immortality, please instantly grant our Guru the city of stable and everlasting life. You are intelligent and skillful in upholding the traditions of Buddha, spreading the holy Dharma through explanations and practices. In order to lead disciples onto the path to liberation, you are the one who is an unequal guide. Please live a long and stable life. I request respectfully my precious and holy Guru to enjoy excellent health. I request respectfully my precious and holy Guru to live a long life. I request respectfully my precious and holy Guru that your Dharma activities spread and flourish far and wide. I request respectfully my precious and holy Guru to bless me to be never separated from you. In all my future rebirths, may I never be separated from my perfect Guru. May I enjoy the magnificent Dharma, and by completing the qualities of the stages and path, may I quickly attain the state of Vajradhara. Om Guru Vajramuni Sasana Vimukti Soha. Om Guru Vajramuni Sasana Mukti Soha.
Om Guru Vajramuni Sasana Mukti Soha. Om Guru Vajramuni Sasana Mukti Soha. Om Guru Vajramuni Sasana Mukti Soha. Om Guru Vajramuni Sasana Mukti Soha. Om Guru Vajramuni Sasana Mukti
Soha. Page 40. Meg meser way to Jinjin Reza Dream Kempe Wong Bo Jambe Ya Gachen Kempe Zu Gen Song Ga Lo Zan Dra Ge Jala Sato Samaya Manupalaya Benza Sato Tenoba Dedo Drigo Meba Sudokayo me bhava, Subokayo me bhava, Anurapto me bhava, Sarvasiddhi me bhava, Karma sudhame siddham shiyam guru, Ahavo bhagavan sarvadadadad, Pensamamimsa, Pensabhavama samana sadhu ahum. Thank you, Geshe.
Thank you, Geshe.
Thank you, everyone. Thursday? Oh yes, Thursday